Hello, welcome to the Skill Checks, the positive gaming podcast from YMCA Exeter. My name is Andy.
And my name is Becky.
And yet again, we have had issues with our intro, but we are here now.
We're always having issues with
but
the intro.
It's not my fault this time.
No, it was my fault this time.
And I'm alright with it. How are you this fine?
Well, it is now raining, so fine might be the thing. Yeah. It was so sunny at the beginning of this week as well.
So sunny.
It was so sunny. I was enjoying the sunshine. And now
is that what happens when we have multiple bank holidays, one after the other? We can't have two.
Yeah, that's true. We can't have two sunny weekends. We'll have one rainy one. Welcome to the UK, everyone.
Yes. Welcome to the English podcast where we talk about the weather a lot.
Okay. So today is May the 5th, Andy.
Yes, happy post-Star Wars Day.
Post-Star Wars Day.
I would love for this to be like a Star Wars special, but it's not May the 4th, so we can't really throw
We are going to talk about Star Wars a bit though.
Jedi Survivor is coming up later in the podcast.
Yeah.
Because I have feelings to share.
Surprisingly, Andy has some feelings to share on games. Which is, very normal.
Very apt,
Yeah. How are you feeling?
Well,
how's it going?
I'm not altogether sure how my voice is going to come across today. I can hear it in myself.
Oh no.
Things aren't...
Are you poorly again, Andy?
I'm just very aware that my throat is a bit...
Hay fever season has well and truly hit us.
Yeah, hay fever, cold, asthma. It's like the holy trinity of nightmare.
Yeah.
And I can feel it in the back of my throat a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to be here.
Great. He's alive. He's in one piece.
I am.
One day at a time, everyone. One day at a time.
Indeed, I'm alive. This is not a zombie podcast.
Awesome. So what we got coming up?
This is where I look at the notes, right?
Yeah.
Coming up, we have we're looking at Pokemon Go.
Nice.
Got a few memories from that. We have, as you said, Jedi Survivor.
Ooh.
But first things first, we have gaming news. So, Becky, gaming news.
So so our first piece of gaming news this week is Helsinki. A Finnish newspaper said it is circumventing Russia's media restrictions by hiding news reports about the war in Ukraine in a computer game that is popular among Russians. The newspaper is bypassing Russian censorship by using popular online shooter game Counter-Strike. The newspaper creates its own maps on the game, where in the basement there is a room with newspapers detailing what is actually going on in Ukraine to Russians. The map was made for World Freedom of Press Freedom Day, which was on Wednesday.
I mean, that is...
Yeah, it's creative.
That's
really
creative.
Cool.
That is, I mean, obviously...
It's not good news.
Well, it's good news in a sea of really terrible news.
Yeah.
And it's good news in that these guys are using a really creative approach in getting the freedom of information out to people. Yeah.
We were debating whether this was good news or not, and we've decided it is good news, but it's obviously not. It's important that people be able to share the truth.
It's a positive way of how gaming is being used.
Yeah.
To create positive change.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see if others sort of catch on and try and use it. If these games are really popular, in Russia, then it would be interesting to see whether it sort of gets extended into other things, trying to use them to spread the truth around. Because I know that they are using different bits of different social media-y things to try and get the truth into the people in Russia. But it is, it's very interesting. So we'll see whether this sort of catches on as a way of doing it, I guess.
Yeah. I wonder if we've now a classic example of information and different sides of a divide as well in ourselves. Interesting shout. And I guess always question the media you're consuming, I guess. It's the moral of the story.
Our second piece of gaming news this week is Fortnite. Fortnite is now available on Amazon Luna. They made the game available to Luna players in the US, Canada, Germany, and the UK. Also, Amazon Prime members can start playing the game now. I'm just coughing. Can start playing the game now as part of their Amazon Prime membership. The vice president of Amazon Entertainment Devices and Services said that's a title in itself, isn't it?
That is.
What a title! You're the vice president of Amazon Entertainment Devices and Services.
I wonder if he has that on the door.
Yeah, that's quite a long.
And how big does the door have to be, or how many lines?
Yeah, said that Fortnite is the most requested game from Luna customers in the US. They also said that they are committed to making the game more accessible and affordable without the need for expensive hardware. Throughout May, Prime members will also be able to play Lego DC Supervillains, Resident Evil 2, Overcooked, and Time on Frog Island as part of their Prime membership gaming offer at no extra cost.
Okay, so what this basically boils down to is that if you have a controller, if you have an Amazon Prime account, you can have access to all those games you just mentioned. That you can play at no additional cost.
On your Prime membership.
Via your Prime membership. Over your internet connection. Which, wow.
Yeah. And Amazon are really going for it now. Like Google are gone.
Yeah, I mean,
Amazon are in.
It would be nice if they had some sort of claiming type system where, with Resident Evil 2, for example, you're able to actually claim it and keep it.
Yeah.
So you don't have to play the game within that month.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's the kind of style that they want to go for, you know? Kind of force people to stick to their system over that month if they want to finish that game.
I guess it means also that they've got sort of built-in people that are going to try and get Luna, I guess. If you get halfway through a game in that month, and you think, I still want to play that game, it might convince them to get their Luna subscription to then finish the game later on. It's one way of getting customers.
That would make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're going for it now, and I feel like there's not really a lot of competition in this market at the moment.
No.
With the death of Google Stadia, there's not a huge. I mean, Xbox is
it is only Xbox that are interested in there.
Yeah, it's a shame Luna died when it did, because I feel like it might have. Stadia died when it did, because I feel like now is the sort of starting to get a bit more momentum. So they killed it off in January, and it's only just now starting to get a bit more momentum in terms of like now Amazon are in the marketplace as well.
I'm trying not to look smug at this. So these comments.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Google decide at some point whether they want to come back to it or not. Do you think they will?
I have no idea. I think if and that is a phone call. I'm going to have to decline that.
It's not stopping. It's going to keep
ringing. It's not stopping. Oh, there we go.
There we go. Stadia. You were talking about Stadia. Do you think Google will go back to doing Stadia?
I think if they were to go back, they would have to win a lot of fans.
Yeah.
They would have to do something.
Yeah.
Because when Google Stadia closed,
people got angry.
A lot of people. No, I think a lot of people were upset. Yeah, including me. Because it was a system that worked.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of good games on there.
Have you tested Luna yet?
I have tested Luna. Yeah. It works.
It works. Okay, so you're still in the way like it
through
works.
Luna,
yeah.
Through the Prime membership, I should say.
Yeah.
Using the Luna technology. So I've not signed up to Luna itself.
Okay.
But if you can link it with your Ubisoft account.
Okay.
And if you have PC games,
nice.
There's a selection of PC games you can play through your Amazon Prime account.
Interesting.
So, for example, I could log on from here. I could log on to my Amazon Prime account from here. Pick up the game controller.
Yeah.
And play Assassin's Creed Valhalla because I've got it on PC.
Okay.
And I can pick it up, use the save game.
I was going to say, because where would you be able to pick it up from where you left it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. So it's coming. It's definitely coming on now, isn't it? Like with Xbox in the market, and then also Amazon Luna. I feel like this market's going to open up so much more. And actually, like they were saying in this article as well, that they like foresee a future in the next 5 or 10 years where that's how we play games, that they're all virtual. There's no, and it were like they were saying that it could signal the end of buying expensive consoles. It could be that we just get controllers and a screen, and you play on whichever screen you have a controller for, or you have like a.
That was one of the ways I was testing out playing Assassin's Creed.
Yeah,
I've got a Amazon Fire Stick at home.
Yeah,
it's plugged in the back of my TV.
Yeah,
I was actually using an old Google Stadia controller because that's Bluetooth.
Yeah,
managed to hook that up with the Fire Stick.
Yeah,
playing it off the Fire Stick off my TV at home. Great.
I mean,
a lot nicer experience actually than playing it off my PC.
I'd love to know what people think, whether they think it might be the end of the console as a thing.
Time will tell.
Time will tell. Our third piece of gaming news, and my screen's just gone off, is Discord. Discord is making changes to its username that will finally eliminate the 4-digit discriminator that makes them so unwieldy. It is also adding a new display name option so that the way you appear to other Discord users can stay the same or be changed to just about whatever you want. They originally put in the system so that no one would get locked out of a name that they wanted to use, and these numbers were made visible so people could check that they were talking to the people they've actually meant to talk to. The system has its downfalls, as more than 40% of Discord users don't know what their discriminator number is, and half of all friends requests fail to reach the proper user. The system will be rolled out over the next few months, but it will require all users to choose a new username, with the priority being based on when you registered. So if you have a Discord account at some point, you're going to have to get a new username. Yeah. It's it wasn't big news, and then this morning I saw it on the BBC. I picked this up from a website in the dark depths of media somewhere, and then it appeared on the BBC News website, and it turns out it's actually quite a big deal.
Because it's an interesting point about those numbers at the end, because I'll be able to say that, my Discord username is Andy McKay YMCA. Yeah. Could I tell you what the numbers are? No! No, I can't. It's interesting. I have a YMCA one as well, and it'll be interesting. I don't know what the numbers are. I don't really use Discord a lot, but it'll be interesting to see when it pops up and says, you have to change your username. I want to know, I want to use Discord more than I do. I know there's a couple of internet organisations who are kind of almost Discord first in how they build community and how they get to know each other. But Facebook is such a easy scroll down, and and when we will, I think probably it's an endeavour for the future for us as a gaming podcast that Discord might be something that we could use. We could. We'll have a look into it. Discord. Maybe. One day, when we have time, we both have other jobs. We don't just podcast all day, which would be nice if we did, but we don't. It'd be awesome. We'll see what happens. If you get a new username on Discord, tell us how it felt, finally. And also, it'd be nice to hear if you found your friends easier, because apparently that's a problem, that people couldn't find their friends on Discord, which makes me really sad. Wouldn't be able to find myself on Discord, to be perfectly honest. And that's the end of gaming news. I had a bit of a nostalgic moment. Did you now? The other day. Okay. I think it was because I came across this article about Pokemon Go. Okay. And at the risk of being a bit gaming newsy, it was all about how Pokemon Go is making a lot less money than it used to. Right. Apparently there's something like 40% drop over 2 months or something like that. Yeah. And only made during April $34.7 million.
Okay, yeah, you earned that, do you? Yeah, in a month.
Only made.
Only made.
Crikey.
It only made $34 million.
I mean, obviously I set up a sentence for that, but I'm like, still, just saying it out loud.
What was it?
Crikey.
Do we know what it was making at the peak?
That would have assumed I would have actually.
Right.
I did research. Thank you, but that assumes I actually noted that down. I mean, what is 40% of 30? Yeah, if you plus 40% of 34.7 million. Are you doing research right now?
I'm doing research right
Excellent.
now. You keep talking.
But Pokemon Go's been around for like 7 years.
It's so long.
Do you remember when that was released?
Yeah, I do remember when it was released.
I mean, do you remember like?
It doesn't feel like that long ago.
Well, no, not at all. I mean, admittedly, with COVID, time has no meaning anymore.
That's true. COVID just ruined it all.
But I just remember there being like crowds of people just walking around the park and places like that, kind of very blatantly with their phones up or kind of walking in a particular direction, trying to catch the Pokemon.
Yes, and like randomly around the streets, and you'd see people with like their phones out.
Yeah,
and you'd be like, "Oh, I know what you're doing."
Yeah, and it's like, "Oh, I know what you're doing." And
yeah,
it was fantastic. It was such a great conversation starter. And sorry, this is very nostalgic moment, but I also remember talking to people at the time, talking about how it was either a great excuse just to get out of their flat.
Yeah.
And play Pokemon Go, and they'll just maybe go around the block once or twice, come back home, and that was their reason to get out for the day. Or if they needed to go shopping or whatever, but they felt a bit anxious about doing that, then actually Pokemon Go was a fantastic tool for them to feel less anxious in going out and about. Yeah. So they're able to go shopping whilst playing Pokemon Go. I'm presuming they didn't knock into anyone whilst they were.
I do remember there were lots of reports at the time about like people walking in front of cars and like not really watching what they were doing. And,
but that's the same with any kind of new tech. Yeah. In that, people are sometimes a bit silly. I mean, I know with my headset at home, I've done the occasional head versus SETI situation, and I think that's just down to how people use the tech. Yep.
Okay, do you want the peak statistics?
Yes.
Yep. So in the first month, it took in the first month of it being a thing, it took in $207 million.
Okay.
And then it was it grew 2 weeks after release. It was almost downloaded. It topped charts and grew 100 million in merely 20 days.
So noteworthy drop. Yeah. But still.
Yeah.
34.7 million.
Yeah. Pokemon Go. Oh, here we go. Pokemon Go made $1.21 billion in revenue in 2021. The second year in a row it made. It still it's made in 2020 and 2021. It made over $1 billion in revenue. So it's not like, I mean, it's still an earner. People are still using it. I don't think
they're in trouble. Yeah. People still playing Pokemon Go. I think I've got Pokemon Go installed on one of my phones.
On one of your many phones.
Yeah, let's not go into that. But anyway, I just felt it was a great example of actually how a game can be there for people who are maybe a little bit nervous going out and about, and that's actually a great conversation starter, if nothing else, Fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun game. Like, it definitely gets you out and about, and I haven't played it in a long time. I played it originally, and now thinking, we could do a bit where Becky plays Pokemon Go again.
We need to do a bit where Becky plays Pokemon Go again one day.
I think it was mostly because I didn't catch any Pokemon. Or I only caught one or two and they were really boring ones.
You never caught any Pokemon?
No, I think I got bored with it really quickly.
Right. We're doing this at some point. We are.
I mean, we've done geocaching, so
we've done geocaching.
Pokemon Go. Just add it to the pile.
That almost ended in disaster, though.
It did. We almost didn't. We almost died trying to cross the road.
And we almost recorded it.
We almost recorded it.
Well, no, we
did record it.
We recorded us almost dying across the road.
We did. Yeah, we almost recorded our own deaths.
I feel this podcast has taken a turn.
If you want to find that geocaching one, it's not. No, we did it like probably this time last year.
Yeah. I mean, check it out.
It's fun.
It's interesting. Listen,
you can only listen to it as well. You can't watch it nowadays. You can watch
Pokemon
it.
Go, we're going to
on
record
YouTube.
it.
We're on YouTube now.
Yes.
If you want to find us on YouTube. Anyway, Pokemon Go.
So in the future, I reckon we should do a video of us going out playing Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
Pokemon Go, great way to get out, have exercise.
Some of the other staff team doing it as well. Maybe we could get like a little team of staff doing it and doing a little comparison afterwards. Thinking out loud. We'll get some of the other. We'll introduce you to some of the other YMCA staff and get them to come and play with it as well.
Ooh, coming soon.
Coming soon. And now it's time for Andy's Game of the Week. Andy, what's your game this week?
Well, I've got a funny feeling we're going to keep coming back to this game.
Yeah.
So for long-term listeners of Skill Check, when I first started playing Jedi Fallen Order, it was a game I came back to. It became a bit of a, not an ongoing joke because it wasn't funny, but it was more of a, Andy, have you finished Fallen Order yet? Type.
Right,
thing.
okay. Yep.
So I've got a funny feeling that Jedi Survivor, the follow-up to Fallen Order, is going to be like that. For those out of the loop, Jedi Survivor, if you're on YouTube, we've got the trailer up behind us. Ooh. It's a Star Wars adventure game.
Right.
To put it, just to try and sum it up very quickly. Quite open worldy, well, very open worldy, lots of combat. Nice. You are playing a Jedi basically at the height-ish of their powers.
Nice, okay.
Now, I mentioned this last week. I mentioned I was going to start playing it. It's become a bit of an event in our house, in that my daughter likes to watch it, so I've not really got as far through into it as I would like.
Because you have to wait till she's around so you can play it.
She's around, nice, So that's difficulty number 1.
Right.
Difficulty number 2 is it took a bit of age to actually download.
Okay.
So it was kind of a bit like an education in playing a computer game on day 1 of release.
Yeah.
So actually having to wait for the thing to download to start with. Mm-hmm. And then I actually had to repair some of the installed files.
Oh.
So that's basically if back in the day when software would stop working, you'd have to uninstall it, reinstall it for it to work. It's basically a fancy version of doing that, but only concentrating on, well, you just have to right click and then click repair.
Okay.
But if you don't know about it, then it's like, why is this not working? Mm-hmm. So that was problem number 1.
Right. Oh no, there's a list.
There is a bit of a list.
Oh no.
It's an amazing game.
Great. It looks pretty.
It looks really.
I keep looking at the trailer going, it looks very pretty.
Problem number 2 is that when it first loaded it.
Yeah.
It loaded, it ran, it stopped.
Okay.
For just a moment.
Yeah.
But just long enough for us to go, what is happening?
Okay.
Effectively it kicked in and fine. No spoilers here.
No.
At all. But the first level is a level that Star Wars fans know.
Okay.
It's a world that Star Wars fans know.
Right.
You recognise it, and it looks, I would argue, better than it does in some TV shows / movies. You may have seen it in. It just looks good. And then obviously the game carries on. You go to another planet. In Star Wars, you don't stay on one planet.
Yeah.
In Star Wars, and that's where my problems really kind of started. And the game would just freeze.
Oh no!
As in, it'd just be stuck, and you'd have to Control Alt Delete to get out. And so I'm playing on PC, and you'd need to just quit the game and force it to close, and there's nothing. And then you load it back up, and then you play it again, and then it freezes again, and you go through the whole rigmarole.
Yeah.
All over. The good news is, if you're playing on a PC,
a good review.
Control Alt Delete, find the option to
Task Manager. Back in the day.
Go to Task Manager.
Yep.
Find the option to increase the priority to high.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That will fix it if you're having trouble on a PC.
Great, good to know.
Now, I'm only a few hours into it.
Yeah.
As I said, it's an event thing, so I've got to make it. So it's not like I can play it late at night or anything like that. I've got to play it when my daughter's around, or there'll be trouble. I've tried playing it once since the weekend.
Yep.
But that's where the patch was downloaded. So the update to try and fix some of the problems, and I just didn't have the time. I'm like, crikey. So I'm about 3-4 hours into it now.
Nice.
Overall, and hopefully going to play it more over the bank holiday weekend. Mm-hmm. Let's see if it has any more updates to download.
Okay, so next week he's going to tell you.
Storyline wise,
yep,
it's very, very good.
Good.
It's amazing to watch.
Yeah.
It's looking like a good Star Wars experience.
It just looks so pretty.
It does look very pretty. Yeah. It plays very well.
Wow.
They have taken one worry that people had. Mm-hmm. Was that at the end of the first game, you were basically this Jedi charging the Imperial Fortress.
Yeah.
And it was very good fun. And people were wondering how we're going to start a new game.
Yep.
And you basically start it with those sort of abilities.
Nice.
So worth checking out.
Yeah.
But maybe
wait.
Give it a week or
two until it's got all the patches and it works better. Great. Well, that is all we have time for today on today's podcast. So, if you want to follow us on social media, please do. We are on @YMCA Exeter or on Instagram @YMCA Exeter Games. Gaming. I'm going to get that wrong. I always get it wrong. Games. YMCA Exeter Games. And you can also find this podcast on YouTube, which is really cool. So we're now on YouTube. Find us on...
Unless, of course, you're watching us on YouTube, in which case...
Hello! And we will see you next week.